How are you advising people to think about significant investments in growth in particular? And if it's at the expense of profit, how long can we tolerate that?
Yeah, so I'm not a fan of the entire premise. I hate the word reinvest profits. Okay, when it's this level of business, if you're a publicly traded company and you're working with other people, no, this is the difference between you going to your kid's soccer game or not this weekend is determined oftentimes by how much profit we have. Because if there isn't enough, guess what we're doing? We're selling a house ourselves to keep the things running. That CEO doesn't have to make that decision at that huge publicly traded company. He can reinvest profits to get greater returns for the people later. This is a small business typically. This is how we need to structure this, is profits reinvested is a fancy way of saying you spent more dang money, right? Like that's all it is. I overspent. And so we justify it by saying, I'm reinvesting in my business. I'm not a fan. And here's why. I've been on so many conversations with team leaders who have literally shed tears on calls with me because they reinvested their profits and they've done it for too long. And to me, too long is one day, right? So we have to avoid that. Why are we in this business? It's for our families. Every time I hear someone say why they're doing this, it's for my family. And yet we are willing to gamble, roll the dice too often with profitability, which is another word for freedom in this business, to find out if we can grow quicker and scale faster and get on stage like the next guy. And I just think that we need to, be careful how we mentally look at reinvesting profits. I think a business owner needs to determine an expense model that they are willing to gamble with, because that is profit we're reinvesting. It's gross profit. We're going to reinvest some of it. What's the level you're comfortable with? And it should be determined by what you want your net profit to be. If I have a 50% gross profit and I want a 20% net and I'm comfortable with that and I can run my life off that and be okay with that, then I got 30% to spend on my operating expenses. And I better make sure that I'm running pretty close to that. And as soon as I go over, I'm reinvesting profits. And I think we just got to be really careful with it, because too often I see people do that and get into some serious trouble and end up on a call with me in tears. And I just hate to see it.